What is your favorite conflict/antagonist thing?
The Catholic Church from Orb, because it was his.
One night, I'm watching an anime. I'm watching Tying the Knot with the Amagi sisters, and they go to Fushibi Inari at night, and I'm just like, I was there. I've seen these things.
You're like, I just did that.
It blew my mind, dude. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Life is Daijoubu, episode 68. My name is Cole, and I am joined by our clean, fresh-cut Thane who's job hunting. He's going to become the new office worker at the most closest skyscraper in our town, which is like none of them. But
I'm going to be the salary man that hooks up with the hot secretary.
I was hoping that you could be HR.
The office couch is gonna be a mess.
Jeez. And in the far end, I've got a man who is cold, but he's still trying to look good. He's rocking the beanie.
You know, I got a beanie from work. Someone gave me as a gift to work. Maybe I should have popped it on, but
How do we feel about, for those audio listeners only, I'm wearing a suit jacket and a beanie. How do we feel about the combination?
I think it's interesting.
I like that you said the word interesting and that you just didn't outright hate it. Unless that's your way
I don't hate it.
Okay.
It's
like one of those.
It fits the vibe we're going for.
It's like one of those videos for like, in case disabled people are watching. It's like, I'm wearing a black suit and a Yu Yu Hakusho shirt.
Yu Yu Hakusho. Speaking of, as we've mentioned, we are wearing our suit jackets today, and that can only mean one thing, and that it is time to review a season of anime. That's right. We got our Jeff Keighley fits on. Two of us got the memo and got weeb stuff underneath our jackets.
Oh, no, mine's weeb. It's green.
Say Package Day?
Shrek the anime.
Oh, Shrek the anime.
Yeah.
There it is. But yeah, we've got a season of anime to review, and it is the 2024 fall season of anime. I didn't write it right in the title, but it is what it is. We got fall 2024. We're going to be talking about it, our favorite shows, the things we hated, the things that really made us just cry, and the things that made us cry for another reason, not because we were enjoying it or sad.
Cry out or never mind.
Yikes. Without further ado, we have some introductions and welcomes as we normally do. If you've been listening, you knew that the past two episodes were pre-recorded because I went to Japan, and I forgot to grab something.
Here's the real kicker. You can go get it. I'll
go
talk
kick
to him.
them.
So the funny thing is Cole said these episodes were pre-recorded, but here's the funny thing: is every episode is pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Thane?
Yeah, I knew that. I'm the one who makes one of them. I'm the one who edits one of them.
That's true. Which we haven't made
behind the scenes.
We literally took a month off of that podcast.
Yeah, because I mean, it was up to you. You said you all you need to do is call. It's like, hey, go on.
See, Thane's always blaming. He won't ever just put up his hand and say take. He won't take any responsibility. Just deflect.
That's the thing. I'm always here. And you just have to come over here. Just call me and say, hey, I'm down to do it.
What if you just call me and say, hey, let's do it?
And
Hot,
I guess,
hot.
But
oh, man, I walked into good conversation. Let's go. Anyway, so I got back from Japan, and I enjoyed my time, as one does in Japan. I saw plenty of weeb things. I enjoyed the plenty of anime titties just literally everywhere. I got to tell you one specific thing. Now, I've not really talked about this to anyone else because it just hasn't really come up, but I thought it'd be great for the podcast. So, if you're just walking around Akihabara and you go into like random stores, say you're in a bookstore, you don't realize it, but if you go to a floor, all of a sudden it's the BL floor. And you start looking around. It takes you a little bit to go like, oh, shoot, this is the BL floor.
And then you're the only dude there. It's all women.
It's like back then when Best Buy used to have a porn section.
Did they really?
Yeah, or Or like or Hastings, like they used to have like when they were around, they used to have like just straight up porn sections.
Or like
You'd
those
walk in.
The costume places will have a back room
The
with
sexy costumes.
sex costumes.
Speaking
Freaking
of,
Spencer's, like you walk back and there's just giant
Titty
thing.
mugs.
you may walk into the BL floor, or you might just end up in the hentai floor without even realizing it. Now, no shame to anybody, but it's always very interesting when you end up in that floor and you start looking around the kind of people that are there. It's just your normal everyday dudes and girls too. Like literally just walking around, just checking out the nice titties. And it's like they got their business coats on. They're fresh off of work. They got to go check out their titties after work and find the ones they want.
It's such a different culture.
So different culture.
So different.
Incredibly
Like,
different.
That type of place I would equate to like a Barnes & Noble. And when we walk into a Barnes & Noble, I would say that we're not the typical crowd at all. So take that for what it's worth. But it seems like our type, we're normies.
Yeah.
Normies go into like the Japanese places and in business suits looking at hentai and the equivalent.
It's
And
straight
it's
up,
just like
it's just normal.
Yeah, it's another Tuesday.
Literally all that. Yeah, exactly. And I was at first like taken aback by how just like normal it was, but after that I was just like, huh, well, it is what it is, I guess. It's just one of the things. It was very interesting, but still cool. Regardless, still cool. I tried really hard to find like a doujinshi, not like a straight up a hentai one, but I wanted to find like a Xenoblade doujinshi because I know there's a couple out there that aren't just hentai, and I wanted them, could not find them. It was hard to go through them all.
Why are you laughing?
He's just thinking about the porn.
But it's probably not in English though.
It's not in English. I had no idea how they were like sorted out. The only like a couple times I did find like more Xenoblade-esque stuff, but it was just NTR, and I was just like, even if I was getting the porn stuff, I wouldn't want the freaking NTR.
So you just needed to pull up a picture of like Pyra and Mithra and show somebody. Help.
I want the wholesome ones of these, please.
This, no boobs.
Say
Maybe boobs, no
say
sex.
this. Say so. Say so. That's what you
Is
gotta
that
say.
wholesome?
Yeah, wholesome.
Say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. Just walking around, all of a sudden you just stumble across the freaking hentai, the aisle. Or not even aisle, it's a floor.
But is there like anything there that would tell you that's what it is? Aside from, I'm assuming, the Japanese signs, the signs written in Japanese.
Wouldn't know if there is signs like that. All I know is that when you walk down there, all of a sudden you just start seeing a larger influx of titties, and they are uncensored, and that's how you know where you are.
So like posters and stuff.
No, just
Just on the books.
The books. So like they'll have like them like they're very tiny, like comic books, like
Right.
American comic book styles.
Right.
And they'll have some of them just face out rather than like in the individual shelves, and that's how you know where you are. One of the things was interesting as I was going through it. This just tells you how Xenoblade pilled I am. I'm looking at these things and I see like this cover art of this character, and I'm like, there ain't no way, dude. That's the freaking like lead artist of Xenoblade's like character designs. And I look it up. I was right. I could tell from the eyes. They're doujinshis that have nothing to do with Xenoblade. But I knew from the eyes of this person's art style that it was Xenoblade. I was like, gosh dang, dude.
You've just been staring too long.
I guess so.
He knows.
I guess so. So the real reason why I walked away is because in Japan I discovered something, and we're gonna try it live on the podcast, and it is
Candy.
chocolate.
Ooh.
Dar's white chocolate. I've discovered this is some of the best white chocolate I've ever had in my entire life. You can buy it at the convenience stores. Every convenience store has
Does
them.
it come in?
It's probably
brown
healthy,
chocolate?
too.
Yeah, it's not as good though.
Oh.
I thought the white chocolate was actually good. It was like 150 yen. So we're talking like
Pennies.
maybe $1.
Wow.
Maybe $1.
Yeah, I noticed in Japan a lot of things are cheaper.
The packaging's really cool too because it flips open, then you have this, and it opens up like a pack of cards. That might be kind of smashed and maybe a little bit melted because of my suitcase, but
I said that it might be healthy. I was
There's
making
no way
a
it's
joke.
healthy.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
was
way.
making a complete joke.
have one, Skylar.
You didn't even
No.
make the cheers thing. You just threw it in.
I'll cheers with you, Sky.
No.
Cheers this first. It's like extra creamy.
Wow.
I don't know why it's as good as it is, but it's so good in
Yeah.
my opinion.
It's so creamy, dude.
Dude, I gotta import some of that stuff.
Literally.
It's so good. I got to the point where when I was going home at night, or home to my Airbnb, I'd stop by the convenience stores every night to buy a box of that. It's just so good.
It tastes like it's like pudding.
Yes, it's like
Pudding.
pudding.
Straight up pudding, dude.
That's it.
It's
White
like-
pudding.
It's like a solid pudding. That's so
It's
good.
like a pudding packet in your mouth.
That's crazy. Now that you said it out loud, that's exactly what it is. You go to the store, you buy your packet of the white cream pudding. That's exactly what that
Yep.
is. Holy cow.
Man, they could have got a certain person for that, but we didn't talk about him anymore.
Womp womp.
I don't know it, but I'm not going to bother asking.
He's also not Japanese, so double womp womp.
Anyway, so that's pretty much it. I'm back. I'm glad to be back. As much as I enjoyed being there, I'm very happy to be back. There was
He's
a
got
couple
the
days,
Jell-O.
where I was like, yeah, I don't know why I'm still here. I should have just went home earlier. Especially near the end where I was kind of like scrounging things to do. I could have just gotten all of the things that I wanted to do done earlier. I got to the point where I was like maybe doing one or two quote unquote big things in a day and then running out of things. I just walk around Akihabara and look at card stores all day. And I'm like, I've already seen all the card stores. I don't need to buy any more cards. Here I am, I guess, because I got nothing else to do. But that's what it is. Did you guys have an enjoyable December?
Yeah, it honestly did not snow, and
It didn't snow.
It didn't snow.
Now it's raining now it's
I
hell
mean,
rain out there.
there's personal things I do as far as a sport is concerned. That wasn't fun.
Basketball.
But I saw
personal.
Thane. Yeah, literally. I saw Thane at work. I see him sometimes when he's on the job.
That's pretty cool.
We wave.
I remember your brother, he was there. It's like, bro, you smell like farts. And then he's like right next to a garbage can. It's like, he's not the brightest boy.
Yeah, it was fine.
I'm glad you guys had a good time. And I guess with that, it's time to start talking anime. We got kind of anime stuff sprinkled in there, but now for the rest of the show, full in anime. We've got a bunch of news to go over, so I'm going to go over those fairly quickly. The first section of these news that I'm going to go through is all of the different things that got a second or third season or just sequel season that was announced. There's a huge ton of them. This is probably the most we've ever had at the end of a season in a while. So, starting up. If you want to talk about them, feel free to just jump in and shut me down. So, because I'm just going to keep going. Mm-hmm. Puniru is a Kawaii Slime Season 2. MF Ghost Season 3. As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill Season 3. Mission Yozakura Family Season 2. Ranma 1/2 Season 2. Dandadan Season 2. I do want to cut in right there. The end of Season 1 was like, okay, they're not going to end the show
a hard
like this.
cliffhanger.
To me, it felt like it should have been a 2-core.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I agree.
Now you gotta wait.
Red Cat Ramen Season 2. I'm going to butcher this one's name, but it's Magi Lumiere Company Ltd Season 2. I don't know if I quite got that whole name right, but anyway.
Yeah, Magi Lumiere.
Magi Lumiere. Bye Bye Earth Season 2. Skip and Loafer Season 2. My Dress Up Darling Season 2. Skeleton Knight and Another World Season 2.
Sorry, going back to Dress Up Darling. That shocks me that it took this long to get a season
I agree.
2.
It's
That's like,
insanely
what, 2 or 3
popular.
years?
Yeah, at least 2.
That's crazy.
Insanely popular show. Maybe it's because right now we're very used to them just pumping out Season 2s almost within a year, but...
Well, I mean, like, it's usually after something is that popular, you'll immediately get an announcement.
Yeah.
But that's
Didn't even
legit
have an announcement.
2
This is
or
the
3
announcement.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
I'll tell you, so one more like little insight about being in Japan is you know what is the most popular animes just by walking around the stores and stuff because you see
the billboards.
You see the billboards and you see the merchandise all over. Dress Up Darling was one of the ones you saw merch all over.
That's
so I'm even
crazy.
more surprised that this one didn't get a season 2.
I wonder if it's because they were wanting more of the manga to come out, maybe?
Could be.
Because there's like, what, 80 chapters now?
I don't know if you're caught up on it, but it's in a cool spot right now, I'd say.
I'm probably a month behind.
I'd catch up just because it's a fun time to catch up. And then you could wait another couple months until you get more chapters. But right now, this would be a good binge to where we are now. Yeah, so Skeleton Knight and Another World Season 2, which is cool because we watch it in the show. Shout out to Sky. And then 2.5 Dimensional Seduction Season 2, which is, that one got a 2-core. So the fact they're already doing a Season 2, I'm surprised they have enough manga to even do anime yet.
Yeah, that's true, huh? Because it's still being written, right?
Yeah, it's still going. All right, so those are all the things that got a sequel announcement. Now we got to the new announcements. First up, we got Takopi's Original Sin is getting an anime. Do you know what this one was?
I'm gonna say manga.
It's a manga.
It is indeed
Very
a manga.
infamous manga.
This is one that I've like
Plus.
thought about buying multiple times every time we've gone to Barnes and Noble. And I just keep not buying it for some reason because I read the back and it sounds really depressing and sad, so I just don't really want to. But I'll probably watch the anime. Next up is Chainsaw Man movie is scheduled for 2025.
Is it like canon? It's not like a spin-off or anything?
It's based
the
off the
Reze
Rise arc. It's the Rise arc.
Rize arc.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a new trailer if you want to watch
You
the trailer.
guys said that. I'm pretty sure you called it. You're like, this is what we're going to get probably.
To be fair, I think I did say it before they announced it, but it's been announced that it's the Rize arc for months now.
Oh, okay. No, I remember like after we had watched it when it
Season
was
one.
airing, you predicted that we'd get a movie next.
Let's go. $1 billion. A chainsaw $1 billion. I can't.
Chainsaw Man for a million more years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should watch the trailer if you want to see it.
Yeah, I'll
It
check
looks
it
good.
out.
So, My Hero Vigilantes is getting an anime. I'm sure this one's pretty obvious. It's a manga. I'm not going to let you guys have
Nobody
to guess.
cares. I'm just kidding.
Speaking of My Hero, the final season is announced for fall 2025. This is one I'm surprised it's not a movie. This one I thought should have been a movie.
That makes me happy that it's going to end this year because I'm probably not going to read the manga. I'm just going to wait for it.
Attack on Titan finale film is going to get a North American release in theaters on February 10th, which is just the compilation of like the past or like the last couple episodes or whatever into like a 2-hour long
movie.
thing or something. See You Tomorrow at the Food Court is getting an anime.
Manga.
Manga,
I want to
yeah,
change it to an anime original.
I think it's a manga.
I don't remember. I think this one's a manga. All right. Champignon? Pigeon? I don't know. Pignon?
Pigeon?
Pignon?
Pigeon? Is there a bird?
Champignon. Yeah, there was a bird. That's why I think pigeon.
Champignon.
Champigeon? Champigeon Witch is getting an anime. I don't know what this one was either, so sorry, you're not going to play the game with that one either. That one could have been an original. I don't know. And then I don't remember how to pronounce this one, but it's Gundam G Quacks or something like that is a new Gundam series coming out, and it's original, right? So it's going to be by Sunrise Studio and Kahara Studio. I don't know what Kahara Studio is.
That's the.
But it's got the
rebuild.
director for Fooly Cooly.
The rebuild of Evangelion.
Oh, they did
That's
that
Kara.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Kara. Okay. So I imagine this one's going to be a trippy Gundam series.
Anno's studio that he took.
It is Anno's.
Yeah, he took Evangelion from Gainax and made his own studio.
Gotcha. And I saved the best for last because I'm like that. That's right. The Yu-Gi-Oh animation. We're getting it. That's why I'm repping this Slifer, the Sky Dragon. Konami announced that they're going to be doing a webnet animation series for 2 archetype lores for the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. And they just so happen to be 2 of my favorite lores of all time, which is the Sky Striker. But my number 1 favorite is the Albaz lore. 2 of my favorite decks in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, and we're going to get to see them animated. I'm incredibly hyped for it. From what I understand, they're starting with the Sky Striker one, and it's like going to be an episode per month, so it's going to be a very slow burn until we get to the Albaz stuff that I'm even more pumped for. But Sky Striker stuff's so cool. There's a manga of the Sky Striker stuff as well, so I'm curious to see if they're just going to adapt the manga one for one. But regardless, I'm incredibly hyped. This is what I've been wanting forever. I've kind of wanted it like a full-on TV anime where it's like 20-minute episodes every week, but like I'll take what I can get at this point, right? So thank you, Konami. You finally did something right for me. That's all the news I had. I hope you guys watched that with me.
Oh yeah,
by the way,
popular
this Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
popular Chinese anime Link Click has,
Oh,
has a new 3rd season.
Getting a
and
season
apparently
3.
it aired. It's at episode 1 already, so.
So yeah, that's all I had for the news. I think it's time we finally get into the fall recap. 20 minutes into the episode. It's probably the longest we've been in a while, but anyway, here we go. We got the fall 2024 anime recap. It always feels weird saying fall because we're in winter at this point,
Yeah.
but it's technically it's the fall season. And as we always do, we got the Mal top 5. Right at the beginning, we've got Bleach at an 8.96, which is interesting because I've not heard many great things about Bleach. And so the fact that I keep seeing it at this high.
Bunch of dedicated
Is this
fans.
like a
Guess
Bleach
so.
remake or something?
I'll tell you
this
right
is
now-
like the new season. The
I'll
last
tell you right
season
now,
or
I'm
something.
not going to say great things about Bleach because I'm pretty sure that is. The story is a mess. Sue me.
That's near the end of the manga, if I recall.
Also, the ending sucks. Sue me. And
well,
yes,
hold on.
there's
We're not
one
at the
more
hot takes yet.
one more season. I know. Sue me. I'm not watching it.
All right, number 2, we've got ReZero season 3 at an 8.74. We've got Dandadan at an 8.65. Natsumi's Book of Friends season 7 at an 8.58. Okay, I don't even know what this
crazy.
existed, and there's 7 seasons of
That's
this.
crazy.
Apparently, people really like it because it's top 4. Blue Box at an 8.31, and Orb on the Movements of the Earth at an 8.3. So, pretty much so sitting in the high 8s, more or less. No 9s this season. I'm surprised Dandadan didn't get a 9. There must be a lot of haters that just bomb it.
I think people maybe are a little too conservative with their numbers.
Oh yeah, they're not.
No,
willing
here's
to
the
give high
problem. They
numbers.
like to rate things off like 3 episodes, and it's like, I don't like that.
That's true, yeah. Or even just like one episode, they'll rate
Like
the
a show
entire
could
show.
totally bomb like after its 4th episode, and it would still like people would still mark it as an 8 because they didn't bother to go change it. Like, watch the first episode, but it's already a masterpiece, and then the show. Could
If I
bomb.
ever watch a show and I only watch one episode, I never rate it. Even if I
Yeah.
drop it,
Either. Yeah,
I was like, I'm not gonna rate it. I don't have a good opinion on this show.
I feel like there's so many 7s out there in anime that when something like Dandadan comes out, how could you not say it's a 10 or at least a 9?
Yeah,
Literally. And maybe it's just because maybe we're in the minority and we watch too much.
it could be. It could be that. Yeah.
So everyone's
So
like, if it's not JJK, then I'm not watching. 6. It's like, okay, brother.
6.
anime
out of 10.
fans, they're all cancers.
So that's the top. That's the top 6 actually, not top.
But not
5.
you guys. He's talking about other anime.
Yeah,
fans.
the
Like,
ones that crawl on the malboards and rate things that aren't bleached like a
the ones
6.
that code bots just to keep Full Metal at the
Yeah,
top.
yeah. Well, Freerun's been at the top for a while now, and I think it's
Now
gonna
we're
stay
talking.
there.
All right, now the world's back to normal.
Yeah.
Hey, but Full Metal's good. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
It's so
deny.
good. It's
it
so
definitely
good.
deserves to like be up there. I
Yeah.
don't know about number 1, but it deserves to be up there. All right. Overall thoughts in this season. How did you guys feel about this season?
I'm a slacker. I'm gonna admit right now, I've been slacking. Like all my shows are like only at 3 episodes, and I said I was gonna watch more, but I've been slacking. I'm sorry.
I
So,
think that there was a lot of really good shows,
I
and
will agree.
I had a lot of fun. But I only watched good shows this time. I think I finished like 6 or 7, but 2 of them were. One of them specifically, most people don't consider anime, which is silly in my opinion. But they're like those Netflix ones that drop and are very bingeable for some reason. I don't know why they never make it to anything like this.
Yeah.
Oh, I think because you only look at TV shows, and there's also OVA sections.
Oh,
they
yeah.
Does that count
separate
as
them out
OVA?
ONA and OVAs. Yeah.
Original video animation. So, yeah. That would go with, like the Netflix stuff typically.
Kind of wish they just blend them together, but they don't.
Yeah.
The
That's a good
ratings.
point. Maybe I should need to be looking into that stuff and see
Yeah.
if they got higher numbers. But
Yeah.
I liked it though. What about you?
my overall thoughts on the season are, so I went into this season wanting to watch a handful of shows. I didn't watch a couple of them, and as a result, every single show that I watched, I finished, and I really enjoyed every single show that I watched. There are a couple shows that I said I was going to watch that I never did, and I don't feel bad about missing out on them. Spoiler, one of them was Ranma 1/2. I shouldn't say I enjoyed the manga because it's fine. I never finished it. I got like 200 chapters in and was like, gosh dang, dude, this is just for another 400 chapters. It's the same thing. So I'm just not doing it. But I do want to watch the anime because I know it's going to be a much more condensed and like only the important things that are going to be in the anime rather than just like what stupid crap we're going to do today in this chapter.
Yeah, what dog are we gonna go pet?
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, like I watched I didn't have a huge list to begin with, but the things that I shortened my list even before I got started with the season by not watching some of them.
Right.
And as a result, I really enjoyed this season because every single show I watched, I just really enjoyed. And like I said, I finished all of them very happily. So overall thoughts is, yeah, this season was a banger just because I watched all shows that I really enjoyed. So,
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect time for me to talk about my biggest surprise, which was Trillion Game. Now, I want to say like a month before this season started airing, I saw an ad on like Twitter for Trillion Game's manga, and I'm like, okay, the art style is kind of interesting, and like the premise seems kind of cool. I'll put that in my potential read later. And then I go to like look at the shows that are coming out this season, like a week or two later, and I see Trillion Games. Like, oh, I guess like I don't have to read the manga, do I? And so I threw Trillion Game on my list, and I've been having a ton of fun with it. It's one of the stupidest turn your brain off shows you've ever seen. It's literally just JoJo characters and them getting rich. Not really JoJo characters. The art style just kind of reminds me of JoJo. That's why I say that, but it's very much so just like, what stupid way can we make these boys get rich? And I have a fun time. I've been having a fun time just watching it. Also, it's been dubbed, and so that's very helpful for me too. So, biggest surprise, Trillion Game.
I think my biggest surprise, just because I didn't really know of its existence prior to this season, is Ranma One Half. Even in some of the early episodes of this season, so probably like 3 or 4 episodes ago on the podcast, I was talking about it and saying like how innovative it is on the romance, the rom-com. Cole pointed out, you said, you're like, yeah, well, it's funny because this show came out in the 80s or something.
Like, this is like one of the first rom-coms. It's not innovative. It started. I guess it's innovative because it started everything. But
yeah, I just didn't really know anything about it. Like, I've heard the title Ranma One Half, but I didn't know anything about it. So when I went into it, I literally went into it blind, and it made it so much better for me.
What's your surprise thing?
Got Orb. Unfortunately, this is one of the. Unfortunately, there's a lot of BS answers in here. But Orb, for the first 3 episodes, really good. And since it's a 2-core, I plan on catching up and watching the whole thing. Yeah, that's it.
I guess.
Sorry, I'll tell you my more thoughts.
You want to talk about why you didn't do your anime? Because you were doing your movie thing?
I was doing a movie thing where I was trying to watch 31 movies in 31 days, which I'm back now to 1. So
you did it. You did 30 movies?
Yeah, I did 31 movies.
That's crazy.
But today's the 29th, though.
Yeah, today's 29th, and I'm about to and I got 3 movies left.
Oh,
so
okay,
I got
okay.
I'm impressed. I'm so impressed. I got to go back and read your, what is it called? Notebook or whatever?
Letterboxd. Yeah.
I got to go read it.
I had one anime movie on there. It was The Wind Rises. Good movie. A good movie.
Oh, dude, I love The Wind Rises. That's like one of my favorite Ghibli movies.
I asked Thane if the wind did rise, and he said yes.
It is.
It rises, and it made me cry.
Yeah, it'll do that. Good. Yeah, honestly, I agree with Scott. I'm proud of you, Thane. You did it. I didn't think you were going to be able to do it when you told us about it.
Unfortunately, I had to sacrifice my anime watching, and I'm sorry for that. But
you watched some anime movies.
Honestly, I could have actually done anime watching, but I was slacking in November for some reason. I was just really bad month for me.
I'll tell you the real downside to you not watching the anime is you don't watch shows that Cole and I watch. You watch the weird, obscure ones that you know about. So it's fun to get.
I will binge the ones you guys didn't watch, and then I'll tell. Next episode, I'm gonna tell all about like, hey, it holds up. Don't worry. And then I'm gonna watch. Because we're doing an end of the year thing, so I'm gonna talk more about Orb. So
unless it doesn't make your top 5, I'm just kidding.
It might. Who knows? It might.
All right. Well, I did kind of like change around the segments or the categories a little bit this time, and I realized it was kind of silly to have a drop section and a dumpy section followed one after the other. So I just kind of combined both of those sections into one big one. So we've got the next section or category is the biggest letdown or quite the dumpy and dropped.
The worst award, aka the worst award.
The ones that you just did not care for. And if any of you will recall, at the beginning of this season when we did the preview, we saw a show that I said I was going to watch an episode of, and I promised you I would, and I did. And it is in my drop thing because it was just okay. And it is Puniru the Kawaii Slime. I'll give you the premise of this. It's this kid. He, you know how like slimes are really popular things for kids to make when they're little?
It's always the trash anime that get the second season.
I don't know if I'd call this trash, though. This was quality.
Okay.
It was quality, and I guarantee there's a lot of people that like it. Anyway, so it's this kid who makes slime as a kid, a little guy. He makes slime, and he falls onto like a drawing that he drew, and the slime comes alive. And he's like, oh, cool, now I got a friend. and like he starts like this all happens in the first 5 minutes. He grows up. And like he hangs out with the slime that's like his best buddy. He's like a teddy bear kind of thing. And like it shows them like they go to bed and they wake up and they go to bed and they live their life. And then like one day he wakes up and it's just like you can't. And the kid's like in middle school. He's like, you can't be sleeping in my bed anymore. You're a hot chick now. He didn't say it like that, but that's what he was thinking. He's like, you can't be sleeping in my bed with me.
The slime
this
went
from wholesome to horny real fast.
It's not even horny though.
Oh,
it isn't. It isn't. Not. I mean, like.
Is it a romance?
It's kind of a romance. I don't know, dude. It's supposed to be romance comedy, but like it doesn't feel very romance like heavy. The comedy is definitely like the main stage, and it's not super horny. Although they talk about horny stuff here and there, but it's not like a blah 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 blah. I'm not going crazy for some slime, and she's still a slime. Like that's very much so apparent. Like she's very obviously like a slime. Like one of the things is the other boys in his class find out that she can like transform into anything. They're like, oh, transform into this hot girl. She's like, okay. She does it, and then she makes her boobs huge, and then she goes, the boobs are kind of big or whatever. And they goes, like, oh, can we touch them? He's like, here you go. She slices them off and hands them to him because she's a slime.
Yeah.
And Ansa's just all like, okay, whatever. That's episode 1. I quickly jumped to the very last episode and just like skimmed through it to see what was happening. Yeah, I can see why they got a season 2 because the ending was more of like oh, there could be more here, obviously, but like it wasn't for me. But to the people that like it, I'm glad you like it because, like I said, it's a quality show. The animation's good, it looks good. Like it just wasn't for me. So there's my little review on Puniru, and unfortunately, it became a dropped, not a dumpy or a letdown by any means, just a dropped.
Next, we got the dumpy on here. That I didn't drop because it's only 4 episodes, which I probably should have, is Uzumaki. Holy crap. You guys had what, 5 years? You delayed it. Only 4 episodes, and yet somehow you had a great source material to work off, and somehow you fumbled it. The first episode fooled us. We were like, whoa, this looks like it'd be good, and then suddenly, bam. Next 3 episodes, garbage. Absolute garbage production. The director at Adult Swim, he said, yeah, they kind of screwed us over. That's what he said. He said it on his like Blue Sky account. He's like, yeah, they screwed us over. It's like, how? How does this happen? I don't get it. It was 4 episodes, guys. 4 episodes.
Womp womp.
5 years. You could literally do like less than an episode a year and finish.
I don't know, man. If they had a movie production budget, I think it would have made a great movie since it's only 4 episodes and they're half an hour, 2-hour movie. That's it. But
I also wrote Uzumaki. I had no expectations though, so I don't think I was as disappointed.
It was so hyped.
I feel like I should just read the manga though.
Yeah.
And this is my first Junji Ito anything. So I didn't really know what to expect, and my mind was a spiral by the time I was done watching it.
That's because Uzumaki
Good
means
pun.
spiral.
Thanks.
But I think
didn't like it.
I think what works better is the art. The art creeps you out. You're like, whoa, that's unsettling. I'm disturbed, and then it's over. Like I think the art comes a long way, and they fumbled that hard.
See, and I just have a problem whenever I watch shows. I try to find a meaning, and like I don't know what the meaning is there. It's just like, wow,
I think the meaning is
creepy.
madness, because literally it's like you're getting hypnotized. That's what I came away off of it from.
Well, that's more than what I came away with.
Yeah.
But the 2 I wanted to say that I dropped. What the?
This guy got a virus on his phone. By your pants down, Sky. I know it's a virus, but
no. So I dropped one called Ron. Forbidden Deductions. I don't know.
Ron Kamahashi's Forbidden Deductions.
I watched like 3 or 4 episodes, and
the manga's better.
I just was eh. And then I also dropped Trillion Game, but I should probably watch it based upon Cole's recommendation.
if you just need some dumb entertainment, I'm talking like you turn your brain off and you just enjoy.
I think that the second season, of course, that's one of my 3 episoders. I thought it was more engaging than the first season.
I just wasn't into it.
Wait. What?
Of Ron.
Kamahashi's.
Ron. Okay, yeah, sorry. You go first, guy.
I just, I don't know. I just wasn't into it. Maybe it's because all these other shows I was watching were so much better, except Uzumaki.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think Uzumaki was probably my biggest letdown too. Mostly because like I've heard only good things about Junji Ito, and then there was a trailer that came out like a year or two ago of showing just like a minute of the show or something. I don't even know what it was.
It's like a teaser. It was a teaser.
Yeah, just a little teaser. I'm like, bro, this looks sick.
Yeah.
And then the anime came out. Episode 1 was cool, but then like after I realized what the show's about and seeing the animation quality take a nosedive, it's like, they don't obviously care about their product. Why should I?
Dang, he really hit him with that.
Womp womp.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, and the womp womp.
And the womp.
Dang.
You get the double womp.
Well, I think from here on out, we're pretty much talking about things that we enjoy, so look forward to a lot more positivity in the episode. And let's start it off with our biggest recommendation of the season. Thane looks excited to tell us. Look at the little smirk he's got.
Yeah, this one comes to my inner child, and it's Dragon Ball Daima, and I think you can watch this show blind. Like, you could watch, you don't need to know anything about Dragon Ball. I think you could watch this blind, because they do, the first episode explains everything, like, for people who it's been a while since they watched anything Dragon Ball, or people who haven't watched Dragon Ball. Like, it's pretty much a clean slate.
So as someone who's never seen anything Dragon Ball, does this take place after Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, or before Dragon Ball Z?
After Dragon Ball Z, specifically in between Super and Z and Super.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird. I don't know how they fit the canon in that, but it's supposed to be canon, so I don't know.
Cool.
I hope it doesn't decanonize Super like Super decanonized GT, but nobody likes GT.
I have a question. Since obviously Akira Toriyama's not here.
Yeah.
Akira Toriyama, excuse me. They're not writing, or is someone writing the manga still?
Yeah, I think the author, the animator for the manga is going to be finishing the manga. His name's Toyotaro.
Okay.
So
was
he'll be
Toriyama doing the manga for Super?
Yeah, he was. He was
I didn't know
helping
that.
write it. But I'm pretty sure he like left a bunch of notes, so
That makes sense.
yeah.
Well, my biggest recommendation is actually a show that I'm not going to be talking about for the rest of this entire time, but it's called Suma Show. This is the one where the husband and wife, and they got a daughter and all happy, and then the wife dies. 10 years later, she is reincarnated as a little 10-year-old girl, and quote-unquote hijinks ensue for lack of for easy, quick descriptions. Surprisingly, this show was a lot better than I expected. It definitely hits you in some interesting emotions, and it's quite the ride. As someone who hasn't read the manga, though, from what I understand, there's a lot of more little details that kind of help flesh it out, as well as make it so it doesn't seem as rushed near the end. So if you're really, really interested in the story, I guess read the manga. But like I said, as someone who hadn't read the manga, I think it was fine. I didn't think it was a bad thing. I didn't feel super rushed. I can see where they were saying it was kind of rushed, but I didn't think it like hurt the series by any means. There was one very specific thing that I disliked, but I mean, regardless, I'm okay with it. It's like whatever. I didn't write the story, so why should I get to choose things? But I think the story was really good. A lot of good, wholesome moments and really cool emotional moments too. So. Biggest recommendation.
Not as sus as it looks.
Definitely not as sus as it looks, and they make jokes about it too, about that it could be sus. So they know what they were writing, but they're like, yeah, like we're not that show, but like it could have been this. Just letting you know, like we will make jokes about it, but we won't actually do it. It's a good show though. If you want some good emotions in a show, and it's quick 12 episodes, watch Suma Show. What do you got, Sky?
I've got one that's gonna piss people off. My biggest recommendation is Arcane. I think
that's a beloved anime. Well, I don't know if it's anime.
There's
the guy. There's the vicariously lived through person right there. I think Arcane has such an incredibly intriguing story. I do not like League of Legends, by the way. Let me state that. That's how good this anime is. I want to like League of Legends because this anime is so good.
You could try Team Fight.
I could.
TFT's fun.
That would be a lot easier.
They're doing an Arcane season right now as well, so everything is Arcane related.
That's awesome.
I was like asking people like, why is this final attack a spoiler for this show? I've not watched it yet. They're like, shut up, idiot.
But so me not knowing anything about League of Legends, and then jumping into this show, dude, it's so good. The animation, like there are so many scenes where you are just jaw on the floor because of how pretty it is, or how epic a fight scene, is, or how an emotional death plays a part in something. And dude, I don't know. If I could get a show or pick a show that I think everybody should watch, it would be Arcane. Like, it is that good in my opinion, and it's got such an interesting art style. It's like not cell shading, but kind of. Do you know what it is?
I would call it cell shaded. Yeah,
it's like very Borderline-esque or Borderlands.
Yeah, I'd call it cell shading.
I love it, dude. It's so unique. It's so good. The characters are awesome. At the end of each episode, their outro song is by like a very popular band, and I'll talk about
there
that
are different
more later.
songs every
Aren't they
time.
all Imagine Dragons?
No, Imagine Dragons is the intro.
21 Pilots is one of them.
Bingo.
We'll
talk about it later.
I saw that at the Game Awards, so I knew.
Bingo.
But dude, it's just so good. Like, every episode leaves on a cliffhanger where you're like, I just want more. I want to see what happens next, dude. I love it, man. I love the characters. I even love the villains. I want to like League of Legends so bad because of this show, but I know I won't. And I'm also assuming that all the characters in the show are like some of the fan favorites, maybe, of the game.
I think so. I think there's a couple fan favorites that make it in. Like, is Lux in the show? And Ari? I don't think either of those
What do
are.
they do? What do they look
Lux,
like?
they're both like magic spellcasters.
Ari's the hot fox girl.
Hot fox girl.
See, there's characters I don't remember if she's in or not, but there's
I bet she's
characters that
not.
show up for like a fight scene, and I'm like, wow, that person or that character's drawn a lot better, and they're having more
I
screen
see.
time. I assume they're
Probably
a main on the game or something, but I don't know. Once again, that's coming from somebody on the outside looking in, but I love it, dude. Arcane was so much fun. That's mine.
Cool. Well, that's all of our recommendations. So now let's talk about our favorite opening. Now, I've got a theory, and I don't know how accurate this theory is, but
Me and
my
you for
theory
sure.
is that this opening is a three-way tie or three-way answer between all three of us. Thane could be wrong, or Thane could be different.
I'll fist to that.
Is it Otonoke by Creepy Nuts, the Dan
Yeah.
intro?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
I listened to their whole catalog afterwards.
Creepy Nuts is bangers. Yep. So I remember the first time I watched this opening, I was like, "Yo, this goes hard," and I really got into it after that. And I didn't skip it once the entire time.
Yeah, me either.
Every episode, I didn't skip it. I've been listening to it a lot too, just outside of the show. Even like, good freaking show, or good freaking opening. Like, the music's incredible, and yeah, just banger. I don't know what else to say. Just banger. The animation was good. The music is really what carried it, but
So I mentioned this a few episodes ago on the podcast, and maybe it's a little quick discussion topic, but I love it when animes get people to write music for the anime, and then the song is about the show, and
Yeah.
like the
Yep.
title is in there. Obviously, I don't know Japanese, so that could be the case with lots of different shows that I watch. I don't know what they're freaking saying, but in this one, they say Dan to Dan about 1,000 times, and I love it.
yeah, good job. Good stuff. Good stuff. Next up, we've got our hottest takes of the season. Thane is excited to say his. I'm gonna hold off and I want to shoot mine out real quick because mine could be a fast one because we don't want to really get into
Mine's
it 'cause
also
it's
a
kind of
fast one.
spoilery. And it's that Oshinoko's ending wasn't as bad as everyone thinks it is.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, like the ending of the manga?
The manga.
Oh, people are just salty.
People are so mad at the ending.
Yeah, you guys need to just drink some water to wash out all that salt.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's like the best ending ever created, but I think it's okay.
I really liked it because it took my expectations and threw them in the garbage.
Yeah.
That's why I really liked it.
I think there's a lot of good points that people make about why the ending's not good, but once again, this kind of goes back to them. Well, you didn't write it, so
Yeah, and that's like, for those that don't know, Cole and I read Domestic Girlfriend like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was so furious about the ending. And then one morning, Cole came into my room, and he's like, "Yeah, it wasn't that bad." And I'm like, "What do you mean? You're supposed to hate it with me." I got so butthurt over that, but I'm like, at the end of the day, like, that's the story that the writer wanted to tell. You know?
To be fair, I also had like the backing of like knowing that my best girl was never gonna win.
So you just didn't care.
So I didn't really care what was going to be the ending. So
Yeah.
I did have a little bit of an extra cushion there, but regardless.
I think I was just salty because I don't like vegetables.
As an outsider, watched a video on it. Look at the ending.
I'm a
I was
fruit
just
guy.
like, what the hell? What is this soap opera shit?
It really does feel like a soap
Yeah.
opera, yeah.
Of domestic
Domestic
Yeah.
Girlfriend, yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
it's so
what?
good, dude. I want to go back and reread it.
No,
and
the very
see-
ending is like a soap opera
Oh,
ending.
yeah. I do still want to go back and reread it.
It was
Maybe for a
I thought
video
it
or
was
something.
a weird
but-
ending. I was like, I wouldn't have gone with that G, but
But
you do you.
here's the thing, though, and like after I've sat on this ending for like 4 years, the whole show's freaking weird.
Yeah.
Right from the first
Right from the
chapter,
beginning.
you're just like, oh, okay, here we go.
All right, Sky, what's your hottest take?
Arcane's an anime. I'm not even gonna say anything else. Move on. Tell me what you got.
All right, sorry for the language I'm about to use, but fuck anime. Movies are better. And this comes from me watching 31 movies in December, and I thought, you know what? I think like as much as I love animation and anime, I think live action, when you do it right, I feel like it's a better storytelling medium. I know some autists in here might go, "Ugh," but
Oh, like,
And,
I don't know,
we've
man.
already
I'm a
prepared.
movie-
We're now switching the podcast
Yeah.
to Life is Movies. Life is Cinema.
yeah. But I think movies are just like great, especially animated movies. Like when they're in a movie format, like The Wind Rises, which I watched. I just think it's executed better. But I like anime, and I do think sometimes anime feels like movies, which I like it better when they're more cinematic. Even though some people are like it's too cinematic. It's like,
no, I like cinematic too. I agree.
Same,
what
yeah.
the hell?
In a weird way, that's kind of why I got into Demon Slayer, was because they did the anime pretty cinematically.
Yeah.
But that's another topic. I want to jump on what you're saying here and agree with you. I think like movies are definitely a
Yeah.
more fun and engaging
Yeah.
medium. The only problem is we're in a really sucky era for movies right now, where very,
Yeah.
very few movies that come out are like incredible.
Actually good.
Yep. Very few of them are just like, holy
That's why
cow.
I'm going back watching older movies.
Yeah.
Like I've seen movies like Pulp Fiction, Fight Club,
Seven.
Some older samurai stuff like Seven Samurai, Harakiri. They're great. They're amazing. Personally, if you said, would you want a really good anime or a really good movie, I'd probably pick a really good movie. But this is anime. I don't hate anime. Don't worry, guys.
I think there's pros
I
and
don't mean
cons,
it,
but I
but-
think because I tend to agree that I think movie form for me is better than the TV show, and I think more specifically because there's not really filler in movies. You've got about hour and a half to 2 hours to get your plot and your story and characters, everything developed and pushed through. Whereas in anime, like 12 to 24 episodes, and some of them are straight garbage because we just have to fill time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with TV shows. Like they just need we need to fill out an episode count rather than do the shortest runtime.
See,
so.
and what's funny about that too, though, and I'm sure you guys have noticed the same, but ever since we started this podcast, since we've seen so much anime, I start to see where they're cutting corners. I'm like, bro, we just held on to that scene for like an extra 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Very unnecessary of watching a wolf go like this for 5
Well,
seconds.
my favorite's that one shot I was telling you about where they just showed a background while they just talked.
Yeah, it's like, dude. And like, I get it. I understand, and it's fine. But like, for me personally, I think that's why I tend to enjoy a movie over an anime. Like, if I take a really good anime and a really good movie, I probably would say that I would like the movie better. But I don't freaking know, because there's like some banger animes out there. But like I said, I think my biggest issue is just all of the filler garbage that is unnecessary. But Naruto has to come out every week forever.
Yeah. Well, probably not going to happen until 2027. That I saw a little update where it said Boruto possibly will not come back until 2027 or 2028. It's like,
I'm okay
dang.
with that, dude. Give him a freaking break.
Yeah.
And maybe they're trying to just stick with the canon. They're just
Yeah.
like, let's let him write out
Let's
a
let him
big
cook.
chunk of
Let
the
him
story.
cook. Yeah.
There's a lot left to write. Like
Yeah.
if they started right now, they'd catch up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're in a part of the story where they would never want to do filler because it doesn't. The storytelling right now in the manga doesn't really lend itself
It's too
towards
tight.
filler.
It's too
way
tight right now.
You couldn't just be like, all right, time to do like a 17 filler long chapter right here. Boom. You can't do that. So
Sorry about that movie tangent. Let's get back on to anime.
Speaking of anime, we got Best Boy. Who is your best boy?
Goku.
Goku's
I
your
love
best boy.
Goku.
You've been loving him since 1985.
Yeah.
Or whatever it started.
It's like probably 2002 when my parents said, "All right, we'll get cable," and it was Dragon Ball. Specifically Dragon Ball, not Z. Dragon Ball was airing on Toonami at that time. I was like,
Goku's a good boy.
yeah, and he's a little kid now, and I thought, oh, we're GT again. It's like, no, it's adventure this time. It's like, yes, it's like Dragon Ball Classic.
What about you, Sky?
Ken Takakura.
Ken Takakura.
He's a gamer.
The
He's a
actor?
gamer.
Oh, sorry.
He's fun, dude. And he's a freaking nerd. I love it. I'm just like, wow, why do I see myself in this little boy?
He's a good guy.
That's not what I meant. Don't take my words out, okay? Why do I see qualities of myself inside this guy?
We got it.
Thanks.
You didn't. I appreciate the clarification, but my pick is Kanata from MF Ghost. The author basically just wrote Kanata to be the nicest person ever in existence. He does not have a rude, evil bone in his body. I've never.
He's the polite Englishman.
Incredibly so. Incredibly so, the polite Englishman. Everything he does is to be nice to other people. Sure, he tries to, like, race and, like, win races, but, like, in Initial D, Takumi, like, he'd get pissed. He'd be like, oh, dude, F this guy. I'm going to freaking show him. And then Ganata's just like, race car.
He's doing that. Well, maybe I'll do
I guess
this.
I'll just do this. He's the nicest dude in
He's
the world.
very cool and calculated.
I've yet to see him do anything rude to anybody in the cast.
He's a gentleman.
Very much so a gentleman. Best fan service. Now, I'd normally try to pick a specific scene. I couldn't do it for this one. I just picked an entire show, and it's tying the knot with an Amagi sister. This show is surprisingly one of the better rom-coms I've watched, but every now and then they just really like to slip in some fan serve, and it's just like, wow. But the reason why I do like it is because the main character reacts in a way that I feel like I would react in real life, or he doesn't instantly just go, oh boy,
And nosebleed.
He does do the nosebleed, but he gets away. Like, he's just like, oh shoot, I messed up. But he's just like, oh freak. Like, he starts thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I would be. I'd be thinking about it, and I get it. So I'm with him on that, but that's why I pick it for the best. You got a best one, Sky?
I just put all of Ranma one half.
Hey, I did that too.
So many, you put it too?
Yeah.
There's so many times where like Ranma's doing something and then he like touches water and then he's just got tits and then he tells everybody. I don't know. There's a lot of that. A lot of fan service with Ranma.
Good job, Ranma. It is weird because it's a boy, but
Yeah,
it's also
yeah.
not. Kind of.
I didn't say it.
Best girl. Who is your best girl, Thane?
Momo Ayase.
Choo choo. I didn't pick Momo. I think Momo was phenomenal.
2 for 3.
But I picked Amelia from ReZero.
She's
Amelia's
good.
really good.
I gotta watch ReZero. Dang it. Well,
I think the reason I like
I got
Amelia
time.
so much, and it's also the same reason I like Momo, is because Amelia actually does stuff, especially in season 3. She's minor spoilers. She gets captured at the beginning of season 3, but she's still doing stuff to try to help. She's not just like, oh no, I'm Princess Peach now. It's like, oh shoot, well, I guess I'll try to do stuff from my end now.
See, what I really like about Momo is she kind of the same thing you're saying. She strikes the balance of like, I'm a badass, but she's also still just a girl.
Yeah.
Like, and I shouldn't say just a girl. Like, she still is a girl. She still needs help. She still gets frustrated. She doesn't really know how to express her emotions because she likes Ken Takakura, but don't say his name because she'll freak out.
One of the things I like about Momo specifically is like at the beginning of the series, she's like the fighter.
Yeah.
Like, Okaruna sucks.
Yeah.
He's not very good at his powers at all. And like Momo's just like the banger, so he just kills everybody.
Right.
And like that persists by the way. I don't know if you started reading the manga or not, but
Not
like
yet, no.
she's still a gamer. Like she still fights probably better than anybody else.
Yeah, she's cool.
All right. Speaking of best boys and best girls, we have to be shipping some of them. So who is your OTP?
Shipping show.
My OTP is Momo and Okaru.
Same.
Let's go.
Three-way.
So I do like Amelia. She's cool, but like Subaru is just okay as a weird romance thing. I don't know why. I just like the chemistry between Momo and Okarun a lot better.
What I really like about it is they both depend on each other. Like, Momo would die if Okarun didn't turn into a monster and save her.
Yep.
And Okarun would die if Momo didn't strangle him every time he turned into a monster. Yep. It's really fun, their dynamic. Not only, like, do they have to have chemistry to fight together, but also, like, their chemistry of, like, when they're just normal. Super funny, too.
I also just appreciate that they're friends.
Yeah.
They are actually just straight up friends. Like, that's how they first start their relationship, is just being friends.
Yeah.
Name another freaking romance that, even if it's a subplot, that has them just start out as friends before they go somewhere. Very cool. Big fan of that. So Dan and Dan's clearly sweeping a lot of these categories for the three of us. I find that interesting. I don't know how many more it's gonna sweep, but I imagine it might. All right, let's go to favorite character. This used to be favorite protagonist. I decided to just do favorite character and get rid of anything like antagonist or protagonist stuff. That way it's just whatever your favorite character is. Yeah. My favorite character is Subaru Natsuki from ReZero. And I just got done saying how I don't think Subaru is a great relationship for Emilia, but I really do like Subaru's arc a ton. I think he's one of the coolest characters I've seen in a while, but I don't know. There's definitely a lot better here and there, but Subaru for me right now, it's hitting. So Subaru is my favorite character of the season.
Okay. I like Goku.
Can we get Goku for 500?
It's like the classic Dragon Ball Goku. That was when he was best, when he didn't have too many powers and he would just like kind of BS his way through fights, but he's like super strong, so it usually works. This is before he had to like, he's too strong, I'm gonna have to calculate his moves or something. And it's like, that's not Goku. Well, it is kind of Goku, but like this is like goofy Goku. It's like it makes sense that he do this as a kid, even though he has the mind of an adult. But I like him for that, like what he is. So yeah, it's Goku.
Mine is Legoshi from Beastars. He has such a fun character arc from season 1 all the way till now, and I have read the manga of this. I think after I read or watched season 1 with you, Cole, I went and binged the manga. Really freaking good. But Legoshi's arc is so fun. The entirety of Beastars is actually really good. Where what Legoshi's battling with is he's a big gray wolf. He's super strong and he wants to eat meat, but in that world, you shouldn't eat meat. So he goes through this huge character arc of like, at the beginning, he kind of was very shameful and didn't like the fact that he was a carnivore. And then he goes through this arc of like accepting himself and learning how to use his powers for good. It's really fun.
That's one I want to get into, and this is the final season, so I should just rewatch it.
Yeah, Beastars, people are sleeping, dude. It's a banger.
Sleeping on your girlfriend's titties.
Don't you mean your rabbits?
Yeah, I guess.
Get it right thing.
Get it right thing. I've seen Beastars. I know all about rabbits and deers. We hinted at this one earlier, but our favorite ending, and we're going to start with Skylar because he's the one that hinted at it.
Mine's totally cheating because I just put Arcane, and it's every single episode has a different ending song. They're all really good.
What's your favorite one?
The 21 Pilots one. That one's good. That's also cheating because I like 21 Pilots.
I like Dan to Dan.
Yeah, the Dan and outro's pretty good too. Yeah. I kind of went for a left field pick, and it's Sumari Wa by Gobi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's the ending for 365 Days Till the Wedding. When I kept thinking of like, I didn't think that this season of endings was super, super great. I think Dan and Dan's was pretty good, but for some reason, the only one that I could ever think of in the back of my mind was always this one. The very beginning of the boom, 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 boom. Oh, dude, it gets me. I'm like, that's sick. I'm into that. And while we're here, I do want to point out that I really like the intro a lot, too. And if it wasn't for Dan to Dan, then the intro for 365 would instantly have been number 1. And part of the reason I really like that intro, I just feel like I just shoved this in here right now, but part of the reason I really like that intro is because it references the covers of the manga volumes. Oh. There's one scene where like it shows them in a bunch of different like wedding attires, and it's because every single volume cover of that manga is them dressed in different like traditional wedding attires from different countries and stuff.
That's cool.
So I'm like, yo, they referenced it. That's sick. But the song's good too. But I do prefer the ending over the intro as well. But that's my favorite ending. Shall we move into our favorite conflict / antagonist? I might just eventually get rid of the word antagonist and just call this entire section conflict. But what is your favorite conflict / antagonist thing?
The Catholic Church from Ord, because it was his. It actually
but
was.
They made an anime girl. They can't be antagonists.
Who's gonna clip that out of context? Hi, TikTok.
It's, modern audience, they don't like the Catholic Church.
No, they made an anime girl. We do like them now.
Oh yeah, the Luce thing. But
Luce-chan.
no, this was back when the Catholic Church said, wait, the sun, Earth revolves around the sun. BS. That is BS, and we're gonna burn you at the stake for it. And that's pretty
You're a
much
witch.
You're a witch.
You're a witch, Harry.
That's pretty much history, and that's like what makes compelling drama.
All right. I will go next. I chose the Acro Silky arc from Dan to Dan, or specifically just Acro Silky, because like her conflict was her backstory more or less. And when I was reading the manga, it was this moment that I went, oh man, this is going to be a banger, isn't it? Like this is going to be one of the good ones, isn't it? And it's because of how freaking well done that little backstory is just for the random villain that happens to show up. And minor spoiler alert, that doesn't go away. Every time we get a new character / potentially new antagonist, we're going to see their backstory, and you will cry every time. So get ready for that. Yeah, Dan to Dan is peak, and this is the reason why, I think.
So for mine, I put Jinx from Arcane. She's cool. She's a bad person, but is she? You need to watch the show and find out.
I'll watch it. I need to rewatch from the beginning.
So
though.
she's an anti-hero?
Well, it just depends on your perspective. And that's what I really like about this show is it's all about perspective and who's good or bad.
Fair.
Perspective. Star Wars perspective.
Yeah, I mean, like, they just killed millions of people in the Death Star, so, like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's sad. They had families, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Well, they're all clones. I think, weren't they all clones
No,
at the time?
they were not.
Oh.
They definitely were not. The clones had retired by them. Because they have accelerated growth.
Oh.
So they're all old men by then, so they weren't still
lore,
there.
a little bit of lore. You have to realize. They're called stormtroopers at that point.
Yeah. All right. Better or worse than the manga? Which show for you was better or worse than the manga?
Beastars was better.
The anime?
Yeah, the
Anime's
anime is
better.
better. Sorry, brain dead. Yeah, Beastars the anime is better than the manga because it's alive. The voice acting is great, and I love the animation. That weird CG stuff just freaking works. I love it.
Shout out Orange Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, orange.
All right, Thane, what's your better or worse?
I would say Dan to Dan because I like the animation.
Wait,
and I
better
think-
or worse?
Better.
Better than the manga?
Yeah,
Okay.
because even though the manga has incredible art,
The manga's art's insane.
I think Science Sorrow did an amazing job adapting it.
Does it follow the story one for one from the manga?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I don't think there's
Although
anything
it's
left
been a
out.
while since I've read any of this, so
There's not really anything
Yeah.
left out.
I didn't remember Akbag's Silky's story arc until I actually watched it.
Yeah. I will say, I agree with Thane. I do prefer watching Dan to Dan as an anime rather than reading the manga, but I do not think that you can replace the manga. I
Yeah.
think they're hand in hand.
Mostly because
because
it's still
the
going.
art. Oh, yeah, that also is still going. But the artwork of Dan to Dan's manga is some of the greatest I've ever seen in any manga. And the fact that it's a weekly manga just blows my brain every time.
Guys,
some of the most
literally-
detailed or drawings I've ever seen in a manga.
Yeah, it's literally drawn by Rohan Kishibe.
It's insane.
Yeah.
My better or worse in the manga, it was actually the 365 days till the wedding, and I think the manga's better. Not necessarily because the anime was bad. I don't think it was bad, but it's because I don't think we're gonna get another season of this show, and the manga has an ending, and this anime did not. And there's a lot of little things that I missed from having the continued a story in the manga. They do like skip a tiny little bit of things here and there at near the end of the anime. From the first half of the anime was very much thorough, I would say. But near the end, they kind of like jump over some minor story plots and lines and stuff. And I just think the manga does a lot better job of tying everything up because obviously it's finished. So I would say if you even enjoyed 365 Days a little bit, I would say read the manga because you get an ending and it's fun. All right. Now that we've talked about the manga, let's talk about the I need more. Gonna go binge the manga now. And I would say Trillion Game, and that's kind of my answer still. But this is a 2-core show, so I get another 12 episodes. And so we'll see at the end of the next 12 episodes if I want to binge the manga or not.
I'm going to go for a pick I haven't talked about. Go Shangri-La Frontier. I think it's the best, one of the best, like, just playing a game anime. There's no, like, real world stakes where, if they die, a family member gets killed or something. No, they're just playing a game. They're just figuring out a game, and it's intense, but it's like, this is gamer shit right here. We're just playing the game.
They die in the game. They don't die in real life.
Yeah,
that's the twist.
They just go back and figure out what to do next. Like one stake has is just in the game where it's like, in the first season, he gets killed by a super boss, and then the boss curses him, and he can't wear shirt or shoes.
Oh, that's why the
no
cover
shirt,
it's
no
always him
shoes.
just naked?
Yeah. He used to have a shirt, like he used to just like a thin shirt and like some booty shoes or something, but he got cursed, and now he's got to walk barefoot and got to put on all that SPF all the time.
Fair.
Yeah.
What about you, Sky? What are you going to go binge?
Mine is Dan to Dan.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I
finally
was
got him.
so disappointed with the ending. Not because it ended, but because it ended.
I get it. Because
there's
it didn't
no
really
ending.
end.
Yeah, it didn't end.
It didn't wrap up like even like the main conflict right then and there. Like, is
No.
Momo going to get touched by these guys?
It's a freaking cliffhanger.
Yeah, Dan, that's great. I'm happy you're going to read it now. I would say start from the beginning so you can see the artwork.
Yeah, I will.
It's just that good in my opinion.
Dude's cracked.
Okay, most memorable moments. I have 2. One of them is specifically from anime. One of them is because I was lucky to go to Japan. And the coincidental and the timing of all this is just crazy. So, while in Japan, me and my brother in Kyoto, we went to the Fushimi Inari shrines, which is that shrine with like those thousands of like gates that you can walk through as you go up the mountain.
Iconic, classic.
Very iconic, yeah. We went at nighttime because I had heard there are going to be a lot less people there, and there is pretty much no other. We were like the only ones on the mountains, essentially. And they have the lights all on still, so it's really cool to go through at night as well. Anyway, a couple days later, when I'm back in Tokyo, one night I'm watching an anime. I'm watching Tying the Knot with the Amagi Sisters, and they go to Fushimi Inari at night, and I'm just like, I was there. I've seen these things.
You're like, I just did that.
It blew my mind, dude. I was like, I literally just did this like a week ago or less. I'm like, this is crazy. And like even like the artwork, I'm like, yeah, I've seen that exact thing. Like, this is crazy. So that was a really cool moment just for me. But if I was picking one specifically from a show, it's from Gun Gale Online Season 2. And it's how ruthless and brutal Len, the little pink girl, gets when she kills people. There's 3 kills that are incredibly ruthless and brutal. There's one where she headbutts a person to death. And I'm just like, this little pink girl is smashing her head into someone until they die.
Being a gamer does things, man.
And then the next one is she has to kill herself at one point to get away from the bad guys. And she sprints as fast as she can into the wall and just smashes into the wall and it kills her. And then the third one is it's just pretty ruthless. It's like context. You kind of need to watch the show for the context. But she just like 1v1 fights a dude and like knifes his neck and just the fake blood sprays everywhere. And she's all smiling when she's doing it. I'm like, dude, she's psychotic. But all of her kills were very memorable in that show. But those are my 2. What do you guys got?
I got the acrobatic Silky backstory. It made me cry.
Yep.
Anime rarely makes me cry since I'm a tough boy, but like
He's not wrong though.
Yeah.
Things kind of an emotionless
Yeah.
wall sometimes.
Because I'm a
Yeah.
tough boy.
but that was the reason why it made me cry, because it felt real. It actually felt like it was like kind of you didn't expect it, and then you're like, what
For a show about supernatural
Yeah.
things, they have a lot of real stories in them. It's crazy.
Because it's also the supernaturals are based off like urban legends. Like
Yeah.
acrobatic Silky is real. Turbo Granny's a real one. Like you see a granny run down the highway. That one felt a little too real, and it made me sad.
So I have two. This first one I can't say much because it's a spoiler, but in Arcane there's a very emotional death scene where it's just like, dang. But the second one is the scene in Dandadan when Okaroon, Momo, they're staring at a junk pile, and the the two school dummies, like the health dummies.
Yeah.
The dude is possessed. Like, they're both possessed, but the dude runs up to this top of this junk pile to save the girl, and he just screams what his heart is feeling at the time, saying like, "I love you. I want to always be with you." And then it cuts to Okaru, and he's just like, "That's how I feel. That's me. That's me." And it was like that moment where it just clicked for him, where he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Like, I need to probably do something. I need to nut up, even though he's nutless. He needed to nut up and tell the girl how he feels." So I thought it was really cool.
My favorite meme of the crying thing I just remembered was there's on the Netflix, since this show's on Netflix, as Netflix recommends for a good laugh. And then it shows Dan to Dan, and then the captions, "No, Netflix, I cried a lot."
I cried a lot. Oh. All right. We're just about near the end here. We've got our special awards, and then we'll finally get to the best of fall 2024. Do you guys have any special awards you wanna give away?
Mine is best animation. Goes to Arcane, hands down. And that's saying a lot because Dan to Dan looks incredible.
Fair.
Yeah. My special award is a Slacker award, which goes to me. Excited to watch.
Self an award.
Hey, remember at the beginning of the episode where I was getting mad at you because you wouldn't take responsibility?
Yeah.
You just took responsibility. Here's your kid.
It all came around. It's character development.
He's 3 years old.
Yeah.
Enjoy raising him. Sorry. Sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to cut away into your. They killed Skylar.
I guess. I don't know any other bonuses other than best nostalgia bait is Dragon Ball Daima.
Fair. I've got 2. First one is the unnecessary fan service award goes to MF Ghost.
Yeah,
you see a pair of tits out of nowhere.
They're racing. They're driving really fast. All of a sudden, it's like, all right, time to cut to the girls in bikinis and just stare at their butts for a little bit. All right, back to the racing. And it's just like, thanks, I guess. And my second award, this is more of the real award. It's the goated manga into an anime. I don't think this happens very often where you have just a goated manga and it gets a goated adaptation, where the adaptation is just as good or even better than the manga. And Dan, of course, gets it. Off the top of my head, I can think of something like,
I think Orb might be
Chainsaw Man.
Orb
Chainsaw
might be one of
good.
those rare ones, but I'd have to actually watch it.
Because at this point, we're starting to get to the point where a lot of these shows that come out are shows that I've already read the manga of, which is kind of cool in my opinion. But it's also like, dang, will it hold up to what I think of the manga?
Hold up. Wait a minute, something ain't right.
And Dan definitely did hold up.
Yeah.
Now, we are finally here. Your best of fall 2024 anime. Let's start with our number 3s and go around the room. I'll start with my number 3, and it is Trillion Game. As much as I've been saying how dumb and stupid it is, I still really enjoyed my time watching it, and I'm very happy I get another 12 episodes. Some good entertainment, just classic turn your brain off entertainment and enjoy. Sky, what's your 3?
My number 3 was Beastars.
Ooh, Beastars.
Beastars is a banger, dude.
Is it finished? Is this?
No, there's one more core to this season,
Okay.
but I don't know when it's coming out.
Gotcha.
So this is like final season part 1. They're taking
their Attack on Titan.
Yes, and I hate it.
Dan, what's your 3?
I'm gonna take a chance on this, but if it holds up, I will tell you. And it's Orb on the movements of the Earth.
You put a lot of faith
Homie
in
just
that word.
abba'd that show. You took a chance on
the first 3 episodes actually were kind of like its own story arc and kind of set up things like, dang, let's see where this goes. But I'm gonna next week I'm gonna tell you if this held up. If you guys remind me, of course. But I will.
Number 2, ReZero Season 3.
I gotta really watch ReZero.
This is a 2-core show. We actually only got 8 episodes, I think. I'm not entirely sure how it's happening, how they're working on doing this. But like at the last episode, I remember like was a pretty good cliffhanger. So I understand that's why they left it halfway through. But that was been like before I went to Japan that episode aired, and we haven't got another episode since. So it's kind of a weird two-core, but
I looked
really
it up.
still.
It's like, what are they doing? And then it says, so it's going to be 8 episodes this season, and then in February, come back with the other 8 episodes.
I see. Okay. Really good, though.
Yeah. So I got time.
I got time. You got time.
I still got the whole first season, the rest of the first season to watch when we left off. Got that, and then the second season, but I think I could catch up.
If you're not on the ReZero train, I completely understand. I really do. But if you liked it enough, I'd recommend.
I think it's a show I definitely love.
What do you got, Sky? What's your 2?
My 2 is Dan to Dan.
Oh, that's pretty telling.
Yeah.
That's pretty telling.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Dan to Dan freaking slaps, man. It's so good. And I just, on the record, want to apologize to both of you fine gentlemen that have been begging me to read this manga for 2+ years, at least. At least 2 years.
It's like Chainsaw Man all over again. No, it's like Undertale. Chainsaw Man 2, but Undertale.
You told him to play Undertale for years?
Yeah. I told Sky, you should play Undertale. Sky, you should play Undertale. It's like, he's just like, hey, Thane, I finally played Undertale. It's like, finally, man. It took you so long.
Thane, what's your 2?
Dragon Ball Daima.
All right.
It's just a good, fun anime. That's a turn your brain off anime.
Yeah.
But it's got a legacy behind it, so...
Legacy turn your brain off. But it's fun,
and the animation is actually incredible this time. Toei actually said, "Hey, but you know what? We should probably like put One Piece on hiatus and actually make the show look good." Of course, right now they're doing like this recap of like the worst arc. I don't know why they're doing like a re-edit of like the worst arc of the show, which is Fishman Island arc. So,
all right. Well, I think it's safe to say that me and Thane is the same number 1. Dan to Dan.
Yeah, Dan to Dan.
Dan to Dan. Really good. Very happy with it. Like you just heard me say, I think it's a goated manga turned into a goated anime. So what more can we say other than this? Dan to Dan's great. If you've not watched it, I'm surprised.
It's the show, according to Moist Critical, is the anime of the year. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, I think Freerun probably.
I think I like Freerun better.
But he hasn't seen Freerun, so.
Oh, fair.
He's missing out.
My number 1 is it's Arcane.
Yeah, that's why when you said number 2, I'm like, oh, that's telling.
It's good, dude. Arcane's so freaking good, and I think I'm just a little bit salty about the Dan to Dan cliffhanger. So
fair.
But Arcane is finished, and we're not getting any more. That's it. Yeah. So I think the creators said no more.
Actually, so the thing about Dan is like 5 minutes after the episode aired, I'm pretty sure even on TV, they dropped the trailer for the second season. It's like, it's coming in July.
That last episode was very much so we're making more, so we don't care where we end it.
Yeah.
Like, they knew going into that entire season that they were going to make a season 2, so it's kind of a weird one to do it like that. But I'll need to watch Arcane. I need to rewatch the first couple episodes. I think I watched the first 4 episodes. I just, for some reason, never kept going with it. I don't know why. It's hard to watch for some reason because it's the whole hour length one, but I can watch 2 to 3 anime episodes back to back and not feel anything. So I don't know why I'm that way, but I need to get back into Arcane. I'll probably will resubscribe to Netflix anyway so I can watch Arcane, and I also want to try watching Squid Game Season 2 anyway. So there's 2 reasons to get on Netflix for me. So there we go.
Yep.
Well, that pretty much does it. That's our seasonal anime review. Let's do some final 2 things. We got our shows we wish we watched, and then the manga standouts. So the shows that I wished that I watched. Goodness, it's a bit of a tongue twister there. I need to add Arcane to this list. I didn't even think about Arcane because it wasn't any of the websites I was looking at because it's not an anime.
Yeah.
So we got Ranma 1/2. I talked about what I thought about Ranma. Beastars is another one. I've been wanting to watch more since I watched season 1 back in those like 2020 or something like that when we watched it. And I kind of just put it in the back burner because I knew that eventually they were going to finish it. Or at the time, it didn't look like they were going to finish it, so I was like, I'll just wait. But they are finally finishing it, so I'll probably get into it eventually soon. And then the last one is I put this last season that we did this was Shangri-La Frontier. This is now season 2. There's an entire first season of 24 episodes I'd like to watch. So there's going to be 48 episodes. If I don't get onto it anytime soon, then it's probably not going to happen. So this is my last chance to put it on the shows I wish I watched. And that's what I wished. Why I watched. It's hard to say all
Thanks
that.
for coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you, Kirk.
So mine is I wish that I had watched ReZero, but I have 2 seasons to watch of that. And then the other one that I can't think of the name. The one that you said at the very beginning of the episode.
Trillion Game?
Nope, not that one. The other one.
Oh, Suma Show.
Yes, that one.
Suma
Show. Yeah. Those 2 probably. And then I guess maybe Orb, if it's a really good thing. I mean,
I have high
Mal
hopes
seems
for
to
it.
agree with you.
Yeah. Also,
True.
they said the manga's pretty good, and it's 2 core, so it's gonna cover the whole manga. So it's gonna be huge. It's also Madhouse. I forget. It's Madhouse. It's not like the mind-blowing animation, but it's good enough. It's not like that one crappy one I watched that they did for just. This one actually has effort put into it.
So they didn't have the C team working on it.
Yeah. So this one is getting my lazy ass to finish my shows.
So all of the shows that you
Yeah.
put on your list of the shows you wish you
Yeah.
The season.
Yeah. The season. My worst watching anime season. It's all on me. Also, I guess Arcane. And if I want a legit show, Arcane and ReZero should finish that one. Also, unfortunately did not finish Thunderbolt Fantasy, but maybe I'll watch that to get to the finale movie that they're gonna come out with.
When we watched ReZero for the show, we only watched the first 12 episodes, but that was half of season 1. Did you watch all of season 1?
I finished all of season 1.
I did not finish.
You just
all
did the first
season
12
one.
episodes.
Yeah, I need
But-
to finish that.
Had you watched all season 1 yet or no?
No.
Oh, you haven't. Okay.
So I gotta get on it, but I have time now because they're gonna be the last 8 episodes will be February. So yeah,
Like the last 8 episodes
of
ever?
the season.
No,
of the
okay.
season.
The light novel's still being written.
Yeah,
Okay. It's got a
although
ways
it's
to
going
go.
pretty fast from what I checked. Like I remember they were on arc 8, and now they're on to arc 10, I think. So he's writing it pretty fast.
He's writing it quick,
Yeah.
but I don't know how quote unquote.
It's out of
near.
12 arcs.
There's no
so-
obvious end to this, like how something like Konosuba is like, oh, we got to kill the Demon King, or oh, we got to become the Hokage or whatever.
It's layers of mystery.
It's got layers. So yeah. Manga standouts. I'll just run through mine real quick. First one is Frieren. The arc right now in Frieren is very, very fun. I'm very into it. It's goes on hiatus every other couple weeks, which is kind of sad, but I completely understand. I want that manga artist, and I don't know. I think it's a team of 2, so I want the mangakas, I guess, plural, to take the time all they need because this show is peak. Their manga is so good. Like I said, the arc is so fun. It's so fun. It's without spoiling anything, but it feels kind of like a culmination arc almost of things that have happened in the past to kind of come back. It's cool. I'm very happy about it. And then Shinobi Undercover. It's the Jump manga that I'm reading right now that I think is going to get canned, but I really hope it doesn't because I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's written by the duo that did Candy Flurry, which was the first Shonen Jump manga that I read that I was very excited about that got canned.
Yeah. Well, if what's the 2 big shows, Undead Unluck and Yozakura Family, if they end when the 2 new anime come around,
Fair. Yeah.
could stand a chance.
I think it's got legs, I think.
But it's also got to go up against freaking Astro City,
Astro Royale.
Astro Royale.
I see. I read a couple of that and I didn't like it.
It's popular right now. So,
It is.
Yeah.
I went to no, what was I gonna say? Shoot. Oh, I just lost it in my head. Shinobi Undercover. Oh, okay. So the other one that I was reading, this is not even on my list. It's actually more of a dropping now at this point. I used to really like it. It was Kill Blue. I talked about it before on the show, I think. I was very into it. And then a big arc ended and they started a new arc and it was just oh, this sucks now. This is not fun at all anymore. They made motivations for the bad guys really poor and really terrible. I was this kind of blows. And so I completely dropped it. And I was 60 chapters in, and I was dang, I went pretty far to drop this. And I started that from chapter 1, too. So that was really dang, this sucks. It's sad. But my last one I want to talk about is Hima 10. It's Nisekoi 2. Very fun, very cute, nice, and rom-com-y from Shonen Jump. Been missing that. I haven't had a good rom-com from Shonen Jump in a while. I remember back in the day when Blue Box started, I started reading and thinking that this could be it. After 2 chapters, oh, this is not going to be a comedy. It's got comedic elements, but it's not the rom-com I
drama.
like. It's much more of a drama, yeah. Those are my manga standouts.
All right, so I got Centuria. And people have been really enjoying this, especially in the Jump Plus comments. Like, this is peak, this is goated stuff, and I think it is. I think it's a bit of Berserk, but with the more Lovecraftian stuff. And then you got Bug Ego, which I guess had a few chapters drop, but for me it just came out of nowhere. Incredible artwork. Whoever won, it's written by one, but whoever the guy got, he's goated. He might be better than Murata. So,
really?
Yeah. So give Bug Ego a look and see I don't know if the incredible art is in the first chapter. I can't remember, but the first chapter is wild. It's about life hacks, but they're like super weird life hacks that you have to do like very specific things, and then something else happens.
I knew that one was writing something new. I didn't know it was already coming
it's
out.
called Bug Ego.
Bug Ego's on Jump Plus?
Yes, it's on weekly. It's on both. It's on Shonen Jump and Jump Plus.
Cool. I'll look into
of course, Chainsaw Man. Every week we get like 5 seconds.
5 seconds of
those
reading.
5 seconds are
looking at pictures. I mean,
are banger every time. Just like that was a good chapter. And then we got One Piece. I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna put One Piece until it ends because I just like One Piece.
Fair.
I just think where it's going right now, we're getting to the apex now. We could see the peak, and it is peak. We're getting to it.
Did a little.
Yeah.
You did a pyramid or a mountain.
Top of a mountain.
Yeah. So when we'll ever get to Raftel or Laftel, I don't know how they pronounce it. Different pronunciations. I don't know, but I like the ride so far.
Good ride.
So I wrote down 3. I've got Hema 10, which Cole already talked about. It's good. Fire Punch, which I know that's an older one. What's fun about that is learning more about Fujimoto and then reading this. I'm like, oh, he wrote this for himself.
Yeah.
Really fun. And then the last one I put because I still think it's good, although the last couple chapters have been is Boruto. I still love Boruto. I think it's super fun. Very edgy. And it's going places, but sometimes we do a lot of talking.
The last 2 chapters especially, a lot of talking
Exposition.
in those.
Yeah.
No doubt. But that wraps it up, everybody. Thank you all for watching our show. We'd love to hear what you guys think about the season in the comments on YouTube below. Let us know why our takes are wrong. Let us know why our takes are right and why you agree with them. Tell us all your favorites of the season, and then look forward to next episode, which will be the Winter 2025 season preview, where we go over every single episode or every single.
Are we doing the end of the year?
Yeah, end of the year episode.
Oh, brain melt! Holy cow! Yeah, this is the end of the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good call.
It went by so freaking fast.
So we've got 3 or this episode and then 2 more episodes before you get back in the swing of the. Okay,
Right.
Take it all back. Look forward to next episode, which will be the end of the year episode, the 2024 anime year review, where we talk about our favorite things that happened in the entire year of 2024. Look forward to that. And I think with that, we'll see you guys all then. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Have a great life. Bye.